Yo, you tuning in to Outside Raps here with Dizzy D, Spill, and Dev. We got a special guest in the building.
Shit.
Brent, what's going on, man?
What's up, brother?
How you living, man?
Man, every day just grinding, really.
Okay.
Been consistent on the same type of grind every day recently, so.
All right.
Good.
Right on, man. So for y'all that don't know, Brent is the owner and creator of Impound Comics. So we had to get you in here, man, because we are definitely proud and inspired. You know what I'm saying? We all shared the same school for many years and stuff. So we got to get somebody in here that could be possibly influencing the next, group of people, the next creatives and stuff like that. So I felt like, it's definitely necessary, man.
I appreciate you. Appreciate you,
man.
Been a long time coming.
Yeah. So tell us more about yourself before we get into Impound, about yourself, how you came about it, some of your background with the different arts and stuff that you've been involved with over the years.
So comic book writing was new for me.
Okay.
Impound was the first comic I ever wrote.
Okay.
But I always had a writing background that wasn't necessarily public.
Okay.
Dev knew. We were trying to put a movie together some years ago. I've written a ton of movie scripts.
Okay.
Written 2 novels, I'm talking 400-page thick novels. But I just nothing ever got published. One way or another, something got shelved. It wasn't right.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get the budget, whatever. And then I just decided to go the comic book route once I found an illustrator.
Okay.
And and then it grew on its own.
Wow.
So
okay.
It was finally the first thing I actually put out.
Okay.
And now we just kept going with it. It was just a hobby that became a business, really.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's what's up, man. So
I had no idea that it was.
Yeah, bro, I'm over here I
had no idea you read two novels.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to hit Dev. Dev didn't tell me none of this. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. One when I was 17. I finished it early in college, and then I lost it on a hard drive. It was back when keeping files just wasn't as simple. There wasn't the cloud or something.
Yeah.
If your computer broke down, you lost everything on it.
Oh, I know the feeling.
Yeah. And then I did another one, I'll say probably 2015, 2016. I started it when I was at my last job at Fox 40, and I finished when I left. And then it was inspired a lot by Game of Thrones.
Okay.
And then when I reread it, I felt like I was just reading another version of Game of Thrones.
Okay.
So I just kind of wasn't feeling it anymore.
Okay.
But it was tight. But it was too much. There was too much Game of Thrones in it.
Okay. So it's almost like somebody beat you to the punch, but you started first, kind of situation.
No, I didn't start first. I started after them.
Oh, okay.
I watched Game of Thrones, and I wanted to write something in that world.
Oh, okay.
I see what you're saying. In that time period.
Yeah.
And then when I wrote it, I just felt like I just copied them.
Oh, okay.
So he did.
Okay.
He didn't beat me. I didn't beat him to the punch.
Yeah.
I copied him and tried not to copy him.
Right.
And then it was the same thing.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I don't want to put this out.
Well,
okay.
What was the titles of these novels?
The first one was Fallen Angel. And that was when Blade was really big.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a heaven and hell, a demon
That's tight.
trying to get back into heaven. It was kind of like Spawn and Blade.
Okay.
But Spawn was not Spawn, excuse me. This is when Blade was at his height.
Okay.
So that was more the inspiration. And then the other one, I never landed on the final title. I finished the book, and then I just didn't want to do it. So I just it was either gonna be called. Originally, it was called Rain, and then there ended up being a Netflix show I noticed called Rain, so I didn't want to call it that no more. Not rain like water, rain like raining over the country.
Yeah.
And then I was gonna call it Black Rock. There was a few things. I never finished it though, so it just didn't even happen.
Okay.
Yeah, that's one thing about Brent. He's you have, when it comes to ideas, it's very, very a thoughtful, well through process. Like a good plot and a movie twist. You know what I'm saying? You said you didn't see it was coming. That tied back around.
Yeah.
I noticed that you do that with some of the ideas that you have, man.
Yeah. And it just wasn't time. And then I don't think my craft was developed right anyways. So like I think if I reread Fallen Angel right now, I would hate it. Like I think like it was a good it definitely was still a dope idea, but I think I would have hated it. You know, there would be movie scripts I wrote that was tight, and still a good idea, and I'll just be like, "Why I write it like that though? Like that's stupid." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't like them today.
Probably, but you never know, man. The people might be like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, this
like,
is fire.
Because I mean, when you're like, no matter what kind of artist you are, when you're in the arts, people are always gonna love certain things that you do more than you, because you're always gonna find little pockets of where you can improve that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. So I definitely understand how you feel.
Yeah,
well with that, you know. But I mean, hopefully we see some scripts and some novels though, man. Because
I still got movie scripts I want to do.
Okay.
But I don't know. It would take a lot for that to happen, because I don't know why at this point why I would write anything outside of the Impound world.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What I mean? So it's still a possibility. Or maybe when Impound is more established, to revisit another project about something else. But it's not nowhere in the near future.
Okay. What made you pick the name Impound?
I just Googled names until I landed on it. There was it's weird because I usually pick the name last after I read it and get an opinion on it.
Okay.
But this was the first thing that the name came first. And then I built the story around the name.
Okay.
So his identity and all that stuff came from me thinking of the name. But the name didn't mean anything when I thought of it. It just sounded different.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, really? The identity, like, because when I see it,
he's a tow truck driver.
Yeah.
So like that, he's an impound driver. But that came after the name. So his backstory was later. His backstory was later, and the way he looked was the last thing.
Okay.
I had his costume, but I didn't have him as a regular person.
Okay.
You know, so that was last, was him, what his normal everyday look was going to be.
Okay.
Yeah, so I kind of did it backwards.
I like that it's, he's in like resemblance close to like you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that does.
That was just because I couldn't think of anywhere else. I couldn't think of how he's supposed to look.
Okay.
You know, and then I was just like looking like me. Someone that said, I don't know who, but it was like I was watching some documentary, and it was like you make the characters look like you, and then you kind of care about them more, because it's like you're looking at yourself.
Okay.
And then it was like, also I just felt like my look wasn't a common look for a superhero. You know what I mean? So that was different. It's like, if it's usually, there aren't too many light-skinned superheroes for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's usually more like an African king.
We had Terrence Howard in the first Iron Man, and they still subbed him out.
It was like they're usually dark-skinned. There's nothing wrong with that. But I just was trying to be as different in as many places as I could be. It was like, you talking about Blade, Spawn, Black Panther.
Yeah.
They're all dark-skinned kings.
Yeah.
You know,
we ain't got nobody.
Yeah, but us, we ain't had nobody like that. So I'm going to do it for my
Well, I appreciate you, bro.
brothers.
I appreciate it, man.
Got to do it for the beige kings. You know what I mean? So that was really, it was like we had Drake, Curry. Now we got Impound.
We got Impound.
Yeah.
That's
so
me.
that was part of it too.
I love it, man. I love it. I definitely love it, man. So like, go ahead, Dad.
No, go ahead. I was just vibing like, I like that he did that.
Yeah, I do too, man. We need something for the other side.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It ain't a competition, but we needed something.
We need to get some. We need some points on the board, man.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask, man. As far as in the brands that you see, like you see the Marvels and the DCs, is that the direction that you want to go as far as in being that huge and having different?
Absolutely. I don't want to ever sign to them or anything like that.
Good.
I'm not saying I wouldn't though.
Okay.
It would just have to make sense.
Yeah.
But the goal is to become that.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's gonna take a long, long time. You know what I mean? Probably not until I'm super old, but it's like I'm doing something that I probably would have did without money involved, so I don't really care to wait.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Right.
It's not a get rich quick scheme.
Right.
It's
fulfillment.
a passion project. Yeah,
absolutely.
You know what I mean. So it doesn't bother me to take the time to get there.
Right.
So it would be hard to like just say to me, "Oh, but you could be this today, but you lose this controlling interest. You know what I mean? Because I wouldn't care that much to make it today.
Right.
You know.
Understand. Now I seen that you were posting about working on a movie. Is this going to be a full movie, a short
It's
film?
just a script.
Just a
So,
script.
I mean, no, it's not a script. Excuse me. It's just a trailer.
Okay.
So we already shot it. We're already done.
Okay.
Looks fire. Looks fire, by the way.
Thank you. But we're using the trailer to get a budget.
Okay.
To either, I mean, it's best case scenario, we get picked up by a network, have a big enough budget to do our own indie and an animated film.
There you go.
That would be best case scenario. Worst case, we'll just do an animated.
Okay.
But some sort of push towards the film industry is what this purpose of this trailer was. You know, proof of concept.
Nice. Yeah. I'm loving it, man.
Yeah.
On the music side, man, believe it or not, I actually have the instrumental downloaded because I was feeling it. I was like, yo, this is kind of hard.
The Impound one?
Yeah, the Impound one. I was like, all right. So, like, how did you come up with that? Like, who did you work with? And
it's
what
a
made
producer
you?
named Bubba Uno.
Okay.
And then I met him in LA. Like he's an established producer in the industry.
Okay.
So even if people don't know his name, he's a platinum producer.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So he's fire. But he just was already reaching out when I'm doing Impound, just saying, man, that's tight, that's hecka clean.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like, hey, let's do not a soundtrack, I guess, but just a single theme song. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then he was like, yep. He was like, what? He was like, what does it sound like? And then I was like, I wanted to sound like the Avengers trailer, but for Lil Baby. And
I can see that now.
Yeah, that's how I said it. The Avengers, but for Lil Baby. And then that was the first thing he sent. Yeah. And then we probably just added one more sound, and that was it. Like, it took him probably like 30 minutes, and we was done.
Yeah, it's hard. I ain't even gonna lie. I was like, okay, all right.
And he didn't even really charge me nothing for it. He was like, bro, he's like, this is just different. He's scoring the movie trailer too. So he's making all the sound effects and the music for our trailer.
That's dope.
You know, so
that's definitely dope, man.
But he's hecka clean. He's a genius with it.
Yeah, to have those like organic relationships that happen.
Yeah, it wasn't forced at all. He was already just reaching out, not even asking to be a part of it musically. It was a comic book, so he probably wasn't even thinking about how can I help as a producer. He just was like, it's tight.
Yeah,
you know?
he was rocking with it.
Yeah.
Completely.
Okay, that's solid, man. What's the most popular character with your
Impound? Yeah.
So
it was only supposed to be about him. And then it just started being about other stuff. I say Impound is the most popular character now.
Right.
And that's just because like the brand is named after him, and then the biggest audience is in Sac. Okay. And him being a Sacramento superhero, people just naturally gravitate to him. But my other character, Seraph, I would say he's more popular outside of Sacramento.
I actually read the Seraph one first.
Yeah, or when people see him, they kind of gravitate to him naturally. But most people, even if they see Seraph, they're going to start with Impound because they understand that that's just a better place to start.
Right.
Because that was more thought. And Seraph's in Impound too, so crushing two birds with one stone. But I would say he's the most popular character by look. Okay. Yeah, but his books don't outsell the Impound books.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, you always want to, if you're a comic book fan, you got to get on them first editions and stuff like that because it's something about having that first one. Yeah. So I definitely
I actually meant to bring those. So I got 2 copies of each. Yeah, I got them in there. It's sitting there. I know you got them in here too.
Yeah, they're right there on top of the LaFar. Yeah, you know. I read mine. No bookmark.
That's why I got to it. I was like, read one.
Yeah, some people just don't even read. They just
want to be in the mix, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
For sure.
You know, that's
some people get comic books solely as an investment.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, of sorts. You know, so
speaking of that, with the times right now, is Impound gonna get into or already working on NFTs?
Yeah, we already have NFTs.
Okay.
We have a bunch on OpenSea.
Okay.
We've sold a few. It's not the priority. Yeah. I wish I had someone that's just what they do only, like they're just like an NFT genius. But for me, it's like it's not as simple as people are trying to make it seem.
Oh, it certainly isn't.
Yeah, so it's like the amount of time that it really takes invested into that, I would rather make books.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like ultimately we're not an NFT business.
Oh yeah.
But it's like with the growth of what we're doing, the NFTs will sell just off the association.
Yeah,
so they're up and available. And like I said, we've sold some and people have resold them already, but it hasn't hit for us like as a priority yet.
We could definitely talk some game about that off camera though. But because I think I can help with some information on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man. But I would love to. I'm gonna have to check them out on OpenSea for sure.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff on there like that's pertaining to like comics and animated things that do catch my eye and probably catch a lot of fans' eyes as far as stuff that they can do. Yeah. So we'll have to rap about that. But I wanted to bring up, man, because I don't think a lot of the fans of Impound know, man. You got some history, man, with music.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. You was actually making a little bit of noise with it when you was doing it, man. So
I think a lot of that led to this.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I definitely a lot of how to package up and put things out in the comic book world came from my experience in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I look at Impound like like an artist, like an individual artist that I'm managing.
Okay.
You know, his albums are his books.
Right.
You know, the illustrations are his photo shoots. And it's really, I'm following the same pattern, you know, marketing pattern, everything.
Right.
So from me going from the artist to managing other artists, it just all came back into this.
Right. You know? It's almost like it groomed you to like have the perfect master plan.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is what marketing. I can do now. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You're picking up tools all along the journey.
Yeah.
And I think it's good that you like made it around Sacramento as well. Like I was going to ask you, what was this like? Did that work out perfectly where you wanted to come back to Sacramento, open a store? Plus, the story of him is, you know, he's from Sacramento. You know, and in that sense, did you plan that?
I knew that making him from Sacramento would get the city behind it. I knew that eventually Doko would want us there. I did genuinely knew that way before. I didn't know it was gonna happen as soon as it did, but I didn't plan on moving back for it either. Even when I was opening it, I still wasn't trying to move back, but I had to. You know, I was gonna move back to Sac at some point, but I wasn't planning on coming now.
Okay.
But it was just something I couldn't leave unattended, so I had to do it. And I'm glad I did. But if I would have tried to like be back and forth, it wouldn't be going as well as it is. So,
that's understandable, yes.
But it was definitely a part of the marketing plan was making them from Sacramento. That's why I said like a lot of it, the stuff before that I wrote, it wasn't as homegrown. It was always about somewhere else, something, you know what I mean? And the pride of Sacramento was ready for this story.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Agreed.
It wasn't there before, but it's there now.
A lot of stuff wasn't. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So to do that, I think like I was speaking with my lady about challenges earlier, and like it's a lot of challenge here because we've seen it when we didn't have Doko, you know, we didn't have a lot of stuff here. So a lot of stuff you had to, you know, go out and create and cultivate, and then to bring. There's other bookstores and comic book stores here in Sacramento, but how you're doing it, the way you're doing it is extremely impactful and different. You know what I mean? So I like when I seen it, I was like, yeah, this is nice and it's the right time. You know what I mean? And I was saying earlier, your ability to move the chess pieces on the board like that twist in the movie, that just seemed perfect, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, hey, that's good, you know. And every time I walk through Doko now, I pretty much see you every time I slide through there.
In there.
But to have that is saying that's priceless.
Yeah, and it got us more organized. It pushed the needle for sure. Right. Like and then it was more than just a store. Like, you know, I got Doko's like support.
Really,
you know,
that's great.
Marketing support, you know, publicists, like whatever, everything that they do. Just for the area, you know, became like a tool for me.
Exactly.
So all around, it was beneficial versus not just being a brick and mortar. It was like a community. You know what I mean? Like I ended up with a team versus just us.
Right.
You know?
Right. You got a beautiful cast of guests that just fall in there. Just on the traffic we've seen
all the time.
Yeah, this guy hit me up. He was like, "Yo, what is Brent into, man? I'm seeing all types of celebrities out there."
Bro, there's people that I'm fans of. Like I think Marshall Falk pulled up. I'm a diehard Colts fan.
Yeah,
Marshall Falk reached out to me, so his wasn't an accident. So
that's not. Yeah,
Marshall Falk has, he's kind of like The Rock on what's it called, Ballers.
Okay.
He's an ex-football player that deals with finances.
Okay.
And so somebody on his team lives in Sacramento. And so he pulled up so that we could talk about potential partnering. So his wasn't random. Most of the people pulling up they just walked by though, because they were either going to a game or they had a concert or something like that. But yeah, like Marshall Falk, I've been working with him. So we're still trying to figure out what. Yeah, I got you. But yeah, no, it's a lot of those people just happen to walk by, and then people just don't know what they're looking at if they don't know.
That's dope.
So like they just are interested and come in, and then when we tell them, it's usually better than what they thought it was.
It doesn't get more organic than that. You know what I'm saying? So that's dope. I seen it was a crazy week when I seen that, and I hit Dev about that because I seen him there, and then I had seen Dungy was in town.
Yeah.
And he was at Q1227.
Yeah.
So I'm just looking around like, man, what is
Let
me cut my phone on, bro. What's going on? You know what I mean? But I have seen the guests, pull up there, and the thing that I appreciate the most is seeing that type of support for somebody like yourself. You know what I mean? It's it's all different coming from all different areas, people stopping by, showing love, and that's how you get a good start and foundation with something, and that's how you keep it going. So I was really happy and proud for you, to see that happening.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
because we still got the envision of seeing cats around the school, running around, basketball jerseys, playing around, joking and shit, and then to see, obviously, we've worked together before on ideas, but then to see you do well in LA with the music, come back and doing well with the comic book, and then elaborate a little bit, touch on how I always pronounce it wrong because I get it mixed up with Complex Con.
Complexity?
No, the comic joint.
Comic-Con?
Comic-Con. That's
Comic-Con.
You just recently did an event out there, right?
We did Sac Anime, and then we did Stockton Con. Those are big events, but the like real Comic-Cons in San Diego. And then that's the one that's like branded. Everyone else kind of just has a con that's comic related. You know what I mean?
Got you.
But the actual one I haven't been able to go to. But Sac Anime is super big.
Big. Yeah. It's crazy in the streets.
But it also it's catered to anime. It works for us because we're a Sacramento based brand. But most like comic people won't go to Sac Anime because there's a slight difference. You know what I mean on the audience. A lot of them are fans of both. Most of them are, but they're coming there more on from watching animated series. It's more cartoons versus Comic-Con is actual comic books.
Right.
They're like, so Sac Anime, they're not really readers.
Okay.
They're more visual.
Right.
But they go hand in hand, know. But I wouldn't do an anime con anywhere else besides Sacramento.
I get that.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Because we just have the advantage of being a Sacramento brand that people support us just based off that.
Yeah.
But if I was to go to like LA's Anime Con, we probably wouldn't do that well. You know what I mean? So
yet. Right.
Yeah, well, it's because we're not an anime though. You know what I mean? So that's like more of the like. Yeah. There's a slight disconnect. Okay. You know what I mean? So
okay,
that's the difference. Like those people coming, they had no intentions on buying a book. If we weren't a Sacramento brand, they wouldn't have bought any books. You know what I mean?
Okay.
They're coming to get toys. They're coming to get Pokemon cards. They're coming to get they're not even thinking about a book.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
They really there to collect. I see that.
Yeah, but at Comic-Con, books. That's what they're coming for.
Okay. That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
I'm definitely loving it. I was going to ask you also, just for the people, that are tuning in that might have heard about Impound for the first time, what separates Impound from like Marvel and DC? Even though it's comic books, it's a superhero, but what separates and has its own uniqueness in your opinion?
One of the separations, they just have a way bigger budget than I do. I mean, we're not the first, but we are a Black-owned comic book company, which is a big separation.
Yes.
Even like their most popular Black characters were not created by African American people. As we talk about Black Panther, we talk about Spawn. Don't get me wrong, I love all these characters.
Right.
Luke Cage, whatever. They were not made by Black men.
Right.
You know, so now there are times where they got Black writers to continue with the journey, or Black illustrators, but at the end of the day, you know, Stan Lee made Black Panther.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that is a big difference, is more on the Black creator versus it's almost like the writers that came to those entities were welcomed into their world. Right. Versus being a Black creator creating the world. Right. You know what I mean? So that's the difference.
Okay.
A record label being owned by a non-African American versus Jay-Z. Right. Making the label. That's the biggest
huge difference.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Huge difference. Right.
So there's another level of authenticity, you know, with our characters.
And a different connection with the people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, definitely get that. Yeah, man. So that's really good. We need more of that, and we're glad. You know, I believe in the saying, as long as one of us got it, some of us got it. Yeah. So yeah,
absolutely,
definitely feel.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of Black creators now in this space, but we're all relatively new. You know what I mean? But there's a good amount of us now.
And are you guys like reaching out to each other?
We all talk to each other for the most part.
That's great.
There's probably there's about 5 creators that can do it. Okay. If that makes sense. Like so there's one that just recently got his deal, which is Brent Sands, who was probably before all of us. About 5, he's been doing it like 5 years. And then there's Concrete Comics, that's from Philadelphia. Okay. Godhood Comics from Atlanta, and then us. Okay. And we're probably we're definitely the West Coast leaders of the Black comic creators for sure. Okay. I know another Black author, a few Black authors, but they're definitely, I wouldn't say, not in a shady way. They're not as organized as we are, or have pushed this far. So versus being just an author with a book, we actually, you know, have built distribution, and, you know, we're actually more of a company. Okay. Versus me just being an author with a book. Right. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, I got a question about that. You mentioned distribution. How are you in other stores or bookstores with?
We are, but it's still early. We didn't have enough product to be in other places. You know, we needed all of our books. You know what I mean? Because we can only print so many. But we are now. A1 Comics is probably the biggest in the area. They have multiple stores. They just did an auction with us like a week ago, and now they're ordering 100 books from us. The first one we were in was Empire Comics in Fulton. Yes, the answer is yes. But we're just early in that outsourcing.
I feel like you already know Amazon.
Yeah, we're on Amazon too. I'm on like digital distributors like that, but I don't like promoting those ones.
I get you back.
It's on there, and if you find us on there, that's cool. Okay. I really am trying to promote the pipeline of impoundcomics.com. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the central place everybody go for everything.
But we're on the other stuff too, just in case.
Yeah, got to be.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But I'm promoting our stuff. You know what I mean?
Direct store, yeah.
Exactly.
I dig it, man. It definitely sounds great, bro. And like I said, I'm definitely proud. I know the city is proud. One more question, man. I don't want to hold you too much longer, but have you reached that point now where when you go around the city, you see people with different impound things that came from the store or from the website, and, you know, is it majority adults? Is it majority of little kids? And how does that make you feel when you see it?
It's more adults. Okay. I think a lot of people just think it's just on. It's gonna be like a super for kids thing, and it's more adults into the comics and kids.
Yeah.
But at Sac Anime, people were in there with their Impound merch, like looking for us. You know what I mean? Yeah. So definitely, we sell a lot of Impound clothes now. You know, so it took a minute to start selling clothes because people had to decide if they liked the books first.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay. So now that people have been exploring the stories, they've been doubling back for the clothes.
Okay.
So yeah, I definitely see it a lot more than I used to.
That's what's up. How does that make you feel when you
see?
Yeah.
You know, proud. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's like it's like anytime your message is being received, you have to be proud of that. You know? So
absolutely.
You know,
absolutely.
Try to show as much love as I can and appreciation, and hopefully it just keeps growing.
Well, you definitely got the love and support. I mean, from us and many people for sure, man. I would like to be a character in one of them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just throw me in.
That's next is that I'm hoping for is people just cosplaying it. Because right now it's more just seeing like even at the con, they just got their Impound shirt on.
Yeah,
I'm waiting for the moment where just people are just walking around dressed like him.
I seen the homie. He was he was dressed as the villain.
Yeah, Ty.
Yeah, Ty was dressed as the villain. I was like, okay, that's actually kind of hard. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so we could.
Impound is hard to cosplay though. That's the problem because it's just a full suit. So it's not like just an easy.
And if you ain't in shape, you know what I'm saying?
Like
you can't just be out there bulging.
It's hard too, though.
Yeah, it's a hard thing to mimic. You know what I mean? It's like
it's a cold suit, bro. Because you gotta lightweight be fit in that. Yeah. You don't want to be like Impound game pounds.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Stalking Impound. Impound's like an MMA fighter.
So man, I knew he was a wrestler now. You know what I'm saying? So. But yeah, dog. Yeah, for sure, man.
I remember walking in and seeing it in Sam's shop while he was making it. And I was like, that looks familiar. I was like, that's hard. And then to see the trailer, bro, and then, Max Payne in it too. And that's hard.
Yeah. I appreciate it, man. Max, we were making this merch before we even dropped the first book. So I was already working with Max really, really early. And then I had already told them like the vision is to make it look like Impound is actually a fighter that lives in Sacramento and he interacts with the other actual fighters.
Right.
So that was part of the marketing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was dope to finally actually get him in the actual trailer, looking like him and Impound work out together, type of deal.
Right.
So it's dope.
That was clever, man. That's for sure. Yeah, man. Yeah, well, we don't want to take too much of your time, man. We appreciate you definitely pulling up, and you definitely got support. We definitely going to have to come back again and see how things is going with what you got new coming up and stuff like that. But yeah, man, it's definitely a pleasure, and we're definitely proud.
Extremely proud, bro. Extremely proud of you.
Appreciate y'all, and I thank y'all for having me on.
Oh, yeah, for sure, man. Yeah. Anyways, we finna get up out of here.
Before you dip, though, you got to freestyle of this beat.
Man, I can't even hear it. I ain't got the headphones on.
He turned it up. It's amazing.
What the headphones at? Anyways, this is Dizzy D, Spill, Dev, and we just got done with a great interview with Brent with Impound Comics. Till next time, peace.
Yeah.